5. The most terrifying part about this upcoming list is that all of these cases are still unsolved. There's no conclusion, only theories and ideas that have never been proven true. What I am about to share with you are the top 5 most mysterious secrets that still remain unsolved. But before we begin, be sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this. And with that said, let's start off at No. 5 with the Voynich Manuscript. First of all, where did it come from? This book has quite possibly baffled scientists, cryptographers, and historians for longer than any other mystery. As the years pass by, this ancient book continues to elude those who have tried to decode its unknown language. The Voynich Manuscript is an illustrated codex written in an unknown writing system. It contains text and illustration seemingly related to plants, astronomy, and other topics. Its origin and purpose continue to be a mystery. Carbon dating suggests that the book was produced in Italy during the first half of the 15th century, but it may have been written much earlier. The earliest theory suggests that it was made in the 12th century, while others have even guessed that it's an alien artifact. The book is named after the Polish bookseller Wilfred Voynich, who purchased it in 1912. It had been attributed to the legendary polymath Roger Bacon. Further analysis revealed that this was highly unlikely. Given that the manuscript predates Bacon's work and doesn't seem to have been created in England, there's also evidence that the text is not in Latin. In fact, the text has been analyzed by experts and they claim that the alphabet used is not based on any known language, though it does follow certain rules and structures. With modern technology, the text has been scrutinized over the years, which has shown that it's likely encrypted. Although no one knows the key to unlocking this mystery, there are plenty of theories. Some believe that the pictures in the book are actually shorthand or mnemonic devices to help the reader remember what they were studying. Perhaps the images are there to trigger a memory, almost like a feeling or an idea, since we don't know exactly what language is being used in the book. The strange text may have actually been a botanical catalog or a medical text. It's thought that the medieval world would have relied heavily on herbal medicine, so perhaps the text was describing plant life. Some have even suggested that the author of the book simply made up both the pictures and the alphabet, creating a pseudo-language just for fun. Others believe that this book is proof of extraterrestrials visiting Earth thousands of years ago. Though this may sound far-fetched, there's a small percentage of people out there who truly believe this. They say that the sophistication of the material proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that humans weren't around back then. Thus, the only logical explanation is that aliens must have left it behind. For now, however, the book is still unsolved. For next up, we have Dyatlov Pass. This is arguably one of the most horrifying mysteries ever witnessed by human eyes. On February 2, 1959, 9 experienced Soviet skiers and hikers were found dead in the northern Ural Mountains. Their tent was cut open from the inside. 4 of the hikers had been found outside of the tent, partially clothed in the snow. Upon closer inspection, their bodies showed no signs of trauma, except for one man who had a small skull fracture. All 9 had died from hypothermia, but they shouldn't have. All of the hikers were experienced outdoorsmen and women. They were prepared for cold weather. Even more strangely, their belongings were left behind in the tent, suggesting that they fled in terror. A number of theories have been proposed regarding the cause of the tragedy. One of the most popular is the theory that an avalanche killed them. This is pretty plausible given the location and the time of year. A freak storm could have easily taken their lives. Another theory is that they were victims of a secret military experiment. Some believe that they were killed by a new type of weapon that caused their tent to explode, sending the terrified group outside into the blizzard. While this sounds terrifying, there's no way to confirm it, and the government claims that such an incident never took place. It's possible that they were victims of a rare form of hypothermia called paradoxical undressing, which is when a person sheds their clothing in extremely cold temperatures. This leads to increased heat loss and death. Some suggest that they were victims of a Yeti attack, though this is definitely untrue. The most frightening theory is that they were murdered by fellow Soviet citizens. If this is true, then whoever did it did a clean job, because there is absolutely no trace of DNA evidence. In 2020, a criminal investigation was opened into the case, but so far there have been no new developments. For now, Dyatlov Pass remains unsolved. 3. Next up, we have the WOW signal. On August 1977, an Ohio State University radio astronomer named Paul Schechter noticed something weird on his computer screen. It was an unusual radio signal that came from somewhere near the constellation of Sagittarius. The signal lasted for 30 seconds, and it seemed to come from a direction above the galactic plane. Since the signal was only detected for a brief moment, it's possible that the source was actually a comet or an asteroid passing overhead. There are millions of comets flying through space at any given time. Most go unnoticed, but some make their way onto our radar. Space rocks are known to have crashed into Earth throughout history. Could one have passed close enough to our planet to leave behind a signal? This is certainly one possibility, though astronomers have ruled it out. It's more likely that the signal came from a globular cluster instead. Globular clusters are tightly bound groups of stars that orbit a galaxy. There are hundreds of them in the Milky Way, but their origin is largely unknown. Some believe that globular clusters are leftovers from the formation of the galaxy. Others think that they might contain dark matter. It's possible that the wow signal came from an object within one of these clusters. Astronomers have searched the area of space where the signal was detected, but they haven't found anything unusual. To this day, the wow signal remains a mystery. Number 2. Next up, we have Atlantis. Where did the legendary city go? How did it disappear? And was it real to begin with? These are the big questions surrounding this historical event. The story comes from the Greek philosopher Plato, who wrote that Atlantis was an actual place. He described it as a place of wisdom and enlightenment, where the people lived in harmony with nature. According to Plato, the Atlanteans were a peaceful race until they grew greedy and began to conquer other nations. After they grew too powerful, the gods punished them by sinking their entire island into the sea. Historians have debated whether or not Atlantis was real for centuries. Some believe that it was a real place that sank beneath the waves, while others think that it was nothing but a fairy tale. There are many theories about where Atlantis could have been located. Some say that it was in the Mediterranean Sea, while others say that it was in the Atlantic Ocean. There are even some who believe that Atlantis was actually in Antarctica. Could the lost city be hiding under miles of ice? This is certainly possible, though highly unlikely. Many researchers have claimed to have discovered the lost city, but none of their claims have been substantiated. One of the more believable theories is that Atlantis was actually based on a real city that was destroyed by a natural disaster. It is possible that Plato was inspired by the destruction of an actual place and turned it into a legend. Or maybe he completely made it up. Unfortunately, we may never know for sure. And finally, at No. 1, we have the Zodiac Killer. This unsolved mystery has puzzled detectives and fascinated the public for decades. The Zodiac Killer was a serial killer who operated in Northern California in the late 1960s and early 1970s. He earned his name by sending cryptic messages to the police and media outlets that often included a symbol of a circle with a cross through it. The Zodiac Killer was responsible for at least 5 murders, but he may have killed many more. The case remains unsolved despite numerous theories and investigations. What makes the Zodiac Killer case so fascinating is the killer's audacity. He was not afraid to taunt the police or the public, and he seemed to take pleasure in the fear that he was able to instill. In 1969, the Zodiac Killer sent a letter to the San Francisco Chronicle that read, "I want to play a little game with you." Signed the letter with the now infamous cross symbol. Was he trying to mess with the cops? Did he just want attention? Or was he planning something more sinister? The last confirmed sighting of the Zodiac Killer was in 1974. He was never caught, and he was never seen again. Some believe that he was killed in the early 1980s, while others think that he is still alive. The Zodiac Killer is one of the most notorious unsolved mysteries in American history, and the case has spawned countless books, documentaries, and TV shows. Who do you think was responsible? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. What are your thoughts on these mysterious unsolved cases? Do you have any theories? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to come back soon for another awesome video. See you later. Bye.